XG merch and the cultural appropriation controversy. It seems like XG just can't escape controversy. This time, their latest merch is being heavily criticized for alleged cultural appropriation. But is this really the case? Or is it just another internet overreaction? Today, we're breaking it all down with logic, context, and common sense. Because there's a difference between having a real discussion about culture and using it as an excuse to spread hate. So, if you want a balanced analysis, stick around until the end.
If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to subscribe for more K-pop videos. Now, let's get into the video.
Section 1. What exactly happened? For context, XG recently announced a special collaboration with fashion brands to do, and UK. Everything seemed fine at first, but then people noticed a detail in one of the items, a cap with an extra piece of fabric at the back. Many online users pointed out that it looked like a durag. For those who may not know, a durag is a head covering with deep cultural significance in the Black community. It's used both for practical reasons to protect Afro-textured hair and as a fashion statement. In other words, it's not just a simple accessory, it is history. So, when people saw XG and these brands releasing a similar design without acknowledging its origins, accusations of cultural appropriation started flooding in. Section 2. Is this cultural appropriation or an overreaction? And here's the big question. Is this really cultural appropriation? Let's break it down from different angles. 1. What is cultural appropriation? Cultural appropriation happens when a dominant culture takes elements from another culture without giving credit or understanding their significance. But this concept isn't always easy to define. Music, fashion, and art have always been influenced by different cultures. For example, how K-pop has been influenced by hip-hop, jazz, and other genres. If we take the extreme view, then only Americans could play jazz, only Latin Americans could dance salsa, and no one could do K-pop unless they were Korean. That doesn't make much sense, does it? 2. Was it intentional? Another key point. Did XG's team intentionally try to appropriate a cultural symbol, or did they simply create a design without knowing its origins? There's a big difference. If every time someone wears an item inspired by another culture, it's considered appropriation, then practically everyone would be guilty at some point in their lives. Section 3. Is XG really to blame? Here's another key issue. Is it really XG's fault? Let's remember that idols don't choose their outfits. There's a huge team behind them that decides every single thing they wear for performances, photo shoots, and even daily activities. Stylists, designers, managers, so blaming the members directly for something they had no control over is completely unfair. If there's a real issue here, the conversation should be directed at the industry and the brands, not at the artists who are just doing their job. Section 4. My final opinion and reflection. I'm going to be completely honest. I understand that cultural appropriation is a real issue and that there are cases where it's a serious problem. But I also feel like we've reached a point where everything is considered offensive, sometimes without proper context. K-pop is a global phenomenon. It has taken inspiration from many cultures, just like many cultures have been influenced by K-pop. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's part of how art and fashion evolve. What really concerns me is how these discussions often turn into disproportionate hate towards idols. We forget that they're human beings too. They make mistakes, they face pressure, and most of the time, they don't even have control over these decisions. If a controversy arises that truly deserves criticism, we should address it with respect and fairness. But these extreme debates only create more division within the fan community. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think XG's merge is a real case of cultural appropriation, or is the internet overreacting? Let's talk about it in the comments. If you enjoyed this analysis and want more discussions on K-pop, music, and culture, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Also, check out my other videos of the K-pop world and music. You might find something interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.